YouTube, just going to do a quick review of the types of torches I own. What I'd like to do is go through and do one each torch an individual review over time. None of these have been given to me or sponsored or anything like that. I've purchased all these myself, so pretty unbiased reviews. So like most people in the world, probably started off with buying some cheap nasty Chinese torches. These ones here, they're all sort of cheap, and this one's probably about £2 or £3, running on an 18650 battery. And like most people, I started off with the good old ultrafire, which is basically just a grenade in a wrapper. This one evidently has 3000 milliamp hours of power, which it definitely doesn't. Maybe going later on and looking at batteries with a lot of information on the internet about what to buy and what not to buy. Definitely not buy one of those. Rubbish, wasting your money. Oh, this is another little kind of, this is actually a true utility torch that you get at a lot of some of the outdoor stores will sell these at the countertop. Horrible blue, sort of cold blue light. Cheapest, quite cheap as chips. Runs on a AAA battery. Good just to chuck in the drawer on the odd occasion, get a power cut, but really is a serious torch. Forget about it. So these sort of things, you spend your money on it, you're not getting a lot of output, run times, quality, you know, but at the time you think, well, way better than the old Maglite. So, you know, so we'll throw those to the side. Right, so what I have Armytek Tiara C1 Pro. This is version 1. So this takes either CR123A batteries, which is disposable lithium camera battery, or a 16340 lithium ion rechargeable, which is what that little black guy there is. Okay, great little batteries. These are 3.7 volt. Nice and compact. That one there is actually a warm light, so the colour is more, I suppose, closing into daylight, more sort of yellowy. Right, next up is an Armytek Tiara A1 Pro, which is the AA version. This is the V2, if I remember rightly. So that takes AA battery, 14700, which is a lithium ion 3.7, or a nickel metal hydride rechargeable. Alright, next up is a Nitecore hc50, which runs on an 18360 battery. This is getting up to be a proper one. This is plus power. This is actually a really good battery, high drain, very very good. This is slightly different. It doesn't. The other two, the Armytek ones, see, you can kind of take them out of the holder and use them as a torch. This is quite chunky and quite big. Actually got a very good light. Also runs red lights as well. Okay, good idea. We'll go through a bit more in detail. Keep going. This is Armytek Wizard Pro V2. Okay, so about 1,000, I think it's about 1,1100 lumens. A little bit of confusion with that LED lumens or out the front lumens. Hard to tell. It's probably my fallback go-to headlamp. That one there actually happens to be the second one I've got, because the first one I had a V1.5, which is like the second version that they brought out. They brought a 1 out and then a V1.5 and then a V2. That one developed a fault and it wouldn't cycle through all the modes. Okay, so they replaced it with this. It wasn't too bad a process, just emailed Armytek and they sent a new one from China. Okay, alright, and next to that is good old Panasonic 18650 NRC battery, 18650B. So it's a proper battery. Okay, and that'll run the torch for a good length of time. Okay, coming over this way, we have latest one. This is an Armytek Wizard Pro V3, which is but it's got a hc50 LED in it. Okay, so whereas this one there is putting out 1,000 lumens thereabouts, this is basically put out 2,300 lumens. Now what I've done is I've actually purchased two of these for company I work for, so this isn't actually mine. A couple of things with this one. It took a long time for me to be able to get a battery that actually worked properly in it, a cell that worked properly. These Panasonic NRC 18650Bs are actually not grunty enough to run it. A lot of toing and froing with Armytek, because I had some batteries that would work, some batteries that wouldn't work. Funny enough, I put in the cheap ultrafire that I showed you previously, and that would actually run it on turbo for quite some time. But these NRC batteries, the good Panasonic ones, which are supposed to be very good, wouldn't run it. It wouldn't run on turbo. It would just like flip to turbo and then turn off. The problem with that then is that then it wouldn't cycle through, so you'd actually have to take the battery out and then try to quickly cycle through as you turned it on. Otherwise it would just go to turbo and flick off again. So with a lot of toing and froing, it turns out, obviously they haven't told anybody, and then the literature, which is not unusual for Armytek, is that it needs to have an unprotected high drain battery cell in it. So it needs a high drain with a cutoff of around 8 amps, 8 to 10 amps. So I went for a unprotected IMR battery, which I had. Got a flat top one, and that works fine. It does get quite hot on turbo. Does get quite hot. And like anything, it's the jump between 1,000 lumens and 2,300 lumens, because of the way their eyes work. It's not. It is definitely brighter, but it's not a massive jump. It's kind of like on this flashlight torch. It's like going from the high setting to turbo. It's, you know, probably about third again brighter. So I mean, very, very good torch, don't get me wrong. I just had bought 2 of those for company I work for, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on with using them. Wouldn't be something I'm going to race out and grab, because the upgrade from this one to this one, yeah, it's not, you know, it's kind of that lumens race. The only other probably nice thing about it is it does have extra, supposedly extra runtime in the lower modes. So for me, around about 200 lumens is kind of like the sweet spot, and I'd like to be able to do that for sort of 8 hours would be lovely. It's like one night of continuous use. If you're doing like a night race, running, climbing, that sort of thing, you've got, you know, good night's worth of light, which to me is a bit of a sweet spot. Okay, and then also I want to show you one of my other reviews, the Mikami X4, which is a tiny wee 10180 battery powered torch. In my last review, I talked about this. One of the things I did forget to mention, which I'm going to do a little bit of a follow up to it, is that it is actually rechargeable, and it is an onboard USB charger. Basically, because the tiny little wee lithium-ion battery in there is not going to go in any charger that you're going to be able to commercially buy off the rack. Like none of these guys, none of the things like Nitecore or X-Star, any of those battery chargers will actually charge it, because the charge rate's too high, plus the battery's so small. So with these guys here, they've done an inbuilt charger, which is perfect. It's one of the reasons why I actually purchased it. There is other, I think the SDG, Fairy and such like, which is kind of another company that makes ones as small. They do them, but you have to buy a charger separately and messing around. So that was the way forward for that one. Before I thought I'd get something that I didn't need to get a charger before I started to dabble on that. And then also my current keyring light, which is the latest Phoenix E15, which, as you can see, it's had a fair battered life so far. Really like it. Puts out a shed load of light. Probably the only thing to say about this is another twisty. It doesn't have a memory, which is probably the only thing that really annoys me about it. To get through all your cycles, you've got to cycle it, twist it on and off, on and off, on and off, and then you turn it off again, leave it, and it goes back to the start again. So you have to keep cycling before you can get to the brightest if you want to start it bright. So that's a bit of a pain. Other than that, it's a really good battery. I think I'm on, sorry, very good torch. I think I'm on the first battery. Obviously, being on your keyring, I'm not going to be running through the batteries that quickly. But hey, you know, it goes for it. I've got 2 others that I can't seem to find at the moment, which is the 47's AL Atom AL, which is uses the same battery as the Tiara Pro, which is CR123. Really short, very floody light. I'm going to try and track that down, and it's again one of these things. So it's only a little bit bigger than the battery, so it goes missing quite happily. And also I've got an Olight S10, which is another CR123 battery torch. It's quite another good one, which I'd like to do a little review on. Yeah, so hopefully as I work my way through, I'll go through each one of these, so sort of give my ideas about them. This one here I've had use for in cold weather. I did a ultra race in Alaska, and that's one of the ones I used. Mainly because this one and the Tiara, the Wizard Pro here, they'll run on 18650s and also two CL123s, which is the disposable version of that one. Alright, which have got a lot more low temperature tolerance, so they'll still give you, okay sort of capacity down to -40 as per the spec sheet. So that's why I was taking that one at the time. And funny enough, I was glad I took this, the hc50 instead of the Armytek Wizard Pro at the time, because the Armytek Wizard Pro at the time, a little bit while later after I came back, it actually stopped working, so it would have been a bit of a catastrophic failure running around in the Alaskan wilderness at night in the snow, not being able to find your way with no light. So it was a bit, this has seen me quite well. It's had a fair bit of work to it. So yeah, it's kind of got a bit of a sweet spot, got a bit of a warm spot in my heart for that one. But the actual Wizard Pro is actually, I find, a far better torch overall for being able to use it and such like. So yeah, so we're going to go through, hopefully do a little review on each one of these, just give you my ideas about them. Once these guys use this V3 for a bit, I'm going to kind of try and steal one back and give you an idea of what it's like. Just give you that, and hopefully I'll be able to find my other two torches to be able to give you a little rundown on those. So again, I've got quite a few little ones kicking around that they go missing quite a bit. Alright guys, yep, subscribe, because I'm going to keep doing more and more of these. I've got a bunch load of stuff that I own personally that I'd like to go through and have a look at, and usually it's stuff that I couldn't actually find when I was buying it. I couldn't find a review on it on YouTube, so I just want to kind of throw one out there. Yeah, and see how we go. Cheers guys. Oh yeah, and again, any questions, fire away. Cheers guys, thanks.